Let me tell you a story about a girl. From a young age, the girl's parents got divorced, and she moved around from different family member to different family member. One day, when she was at home, babysitting her younger siblings, she was raped by her 19-year-old cousin. The girl was 9. As time goes on, a trusted family friend and her uncle routinely abused her. They hit her, they deceived her, and they raped her. At 14, the girl became pregnant, and she told her father about the baby the day she went into labor, and the baby died 2 weeks after birth. 2 weeks. However, this tragic story does have a happy ending. This girl, and now woman, was able to graduate and attend high school and college on a full scholarship that she won in a public speaking competition. She overcame physical abuse, emotional abuse, and sexual abuse. How did she overcome such traumatic events? How was she able to cope with the obstacles and devastations that she faced so early on? And how can she have such genuine empathy for others? This girl, her name is Oprah Winfrey. Many of you may know her story, and if not, maybe you know stories like hers from people near, far, wealthy, poor, old, or young. Hi, my name is Meredith, and I'm here to talk to you today about a victim mindset and how we can acquire healthy coping mechanisms to tackle problems and recover from trauma. Well, first, let's define it. What is a victim mindset? It's not a diagnosable condition, but it is an acquired personality trait. According to Arlen Kunzik, a writer specializing in social psychology, this mindset can be recognized as 3 beliefs. 1, bad things happen to me and will keep happening. 2, others are to blame for these bad things. And 3, what's the point in trying to change if it just won't work? And according to Kunzik, these beliefs can manifest themselves in many different ways. Some tendencies being a need to point the finger at others for what's happening in one's own life, an unwillingness to take responsibility for things one can control, the feeling that everyone is against them, constantly feeling sorry for oneself and needing others to feel sorry for them. Psychologically speaking, humans seek comfort, and constantly making oneself the victim allows one to be comforted, but at the cost of seeing the world in black and white. Now that we've taken a moment to define what a victim mindset is, let's now shift and define what a victim is, the noun. According to the Collins English Dictionary, a victim is someone who has suffered as a result of someone else's actions or beliefs. And that can be further translated into something that's not in your control, such as, in Oprah's case, sexual assault or emotional abuse. In these situations, you have every right to feel like things are out of your control, because they are. However, there is a line that can be crossed from self-pity to a victim mindset. And over time, this line has been blurred. Now, don't get me wrong. We have all been a victim at one point or another in our lives. And we've all had some of these tendencies, like wanting to shift blame towards others or wallowing in self-pity. I know I have. But it's when these behaviors become habits, and habits become norms. And eventually, it becomes a lens that is used to cope with things that are and aren't in your control. According to Odile Remmer, a mindset coach and author, this mindset can be developed from childhood trauma, consistent emotional pain. It can even be modeled for you, and it keeps you in survival mode rather than being empowered. Now let's take a look at the collective impact of this mindset, how it affects society, community, or even relationships. When the person who has adopted this mindset is in a position of great power or influence, such as a boss, parent, teacher, significant other, or even a team captain, they can manipulate their communication styles and force his subordinates into taking responsibility for their reactions and happiness, with or without knowing they're doing so. Being on the receiving end of this can be detrimental to someone's emotions and can give a false notion that they can actually control how others are feeling. It can also result in difficulty in daily collaboration. In the workplace, for example, it can result in delays and unproductivity due to things that aren't their fault. It can damage morale due to a constant negative outlook. And others might not have full trust in their coworkers to complete simple tasks due to their lack of ownership of the outcome. Again, I am not saying that your trauma isn't valid, but I am saying that just because someone has victimized you, it doesn't mean that you need to see yourself as a victim. And I'm not alone in this idea. Gabriela Shiswaza said something similar when she said, "The strength of a person's character and the value of a person's life are defined not by what problems have been placed in their path, but instead what they have done to turn those obstacles into opportunities." So, how can we become empowered to take charge of our own lives? And how can we acquire the coping mechanisms to handle things that are and aren't in our control? Well, this isn't an adolescent mindset that you can just grow out of without effort. It requires you to be vulnerable, and it requires you to be uncomfortable. But here are some things that myself and professionals have found to be helpful. 1, be mindful of your self-talk and the way that you give and receive feedback. This can allow you to be more aware of your tendencies and on the road to becoming more self-reflective. 2, to become more self-reflective, you need to know yourself on a deeper level. Gratitude, mindfulness, journaling, doing something that just makes you happy. These are all things that can help you on the road to becoming more self-reflective. Personally, for me, when I do the most thinking, I'm outside and playing sports. But for you, that could be something totally different. And 3, reach out to a trusted adult, such as a parent, teacher, or even a therapist, because they can help you acquire specific coping mechanisms that work specifically for you. Being uncomfortable is scary, but we're all trying to figure ourselves out. And the outcome not only benefits others, but it also benefits yourself. Thank you.